Hello, and welcome to probably part 1 of, I don't know, 20 or close to 20 something videos in one special live stream throughout today. So yeah, anyways, this is part 1. I'm playing Gran Turismo 5 right now. I cannot continue to hold my phone up super duper long, so I'm gonna try and do a video game play thing. However, since I am left-handed, it's going to be kind of hard for me to do it, considering that I use my left hand for stuff more often anyway. So yeah. Anyways, before we go into the race I'm gonna do, I haven't even figured out what race it is. I thought I'd just show all the cars I have yet again for people who are new to my channel and haven't seen this stuff yet. There's a Toyota Supra race car from 1997, Audi R6 Avant from 2008. This really cool 1965 Alfa Romeo Giulia TZ2 something Zagato race car from Alfa Romeo, which is obviously an Italian car, which is why I don't know how to pronounce that other name after the TZ2 part, and the word before Zagato is da, or duh. I don't know, I believe it's da. Alfa Romeo Giulia 2Z2 Carrozzata de Zagato CN.AR 750-106 from 1965. Sorry, it's a really long name. And especially considering that, I don't speak much Italian, I just gave it my best pronunciation of that car. Next up is ISF Racing from 2008 from Lexus. We have a Citroen GT by Citroen race car. Shelby Cobra 427. Another ISF racing concept. One of those I actually won, one of the others I don't know if I won or that was from a car dealership purchase, but anyway, some cars in used car dealership over 500,000 credits cannot be sold to get more credits to buy more cars. So yeah, that is one small problem with this game. However, in Gran Turismo Sport they fixed that. You can sell cars well worth over 1 million credits in that game even. However, you don't get the same amount of credits back, but it's still not too bad though. Zonda R from Pagani. We have a NASCAR, it's a Toyota Camry. Then we have a Toyota FT86 G Sports concept from 2010. A Nissan GTR N24 Shoals Motorsports one. Corvette final prototype from Chevrolet. 2012 Subaru BRZS. Another Corvette Stingray final prototype from Chevrolet, and the prototype is from 2014, and then a Scion FRS. Those are all my premium cars. Now to go to standard cars, which is where most of my cars will be found at, by the way. Well, mine and my friend's cars for that matter. And yes, there is a Superbird with 620 horsepower, by the way, which did race in NASCARs in 1970, well, 69 or 70 for that matter. So we have this Autobox car from 2002. I don't even know how to pronounce the name of that car. I'm really sorry. I do apologize that there are some cars I may or may not be able to pronounce, sadly. This is a Mitsubishi Galant 2.0 DOHC Turbo VR4 from 1989, Buick GNX from 1987, Toyota Sprinter Treno GT Apex, Rayberg NSX from Honda, which is a 2000s race car. The Stratos or Stratos rally car from 1977. Subaru Legacy Touring Wagon GT-B from 1996. There's the Superbird. This is one of my favorite rally cars of all time, the Ford RS200 rally car from 1985. Now the weird thing is, this rally car was not actually made in America, which is weird because this game claims it was. And I actually believe it was made in United Kingdom because that's where the street legal version of this car was made, in United Kingdom. This car was never made in America, and I'm not sure if they were ever sold in America. If they were, they would cost a decent amount of money for the street legal version, producing about close to half the horsepower this thing has, which is 246 for the regular one in this game, but that's just this game's used car dealership horsepower rating of it. This car in the game costs probably close to 2 to 4 million credits, most likely more in the range of like 1.5 to 3 million credits per se. Probably more closer towards 2 million credits, give or take. Took me a long time to get that thing, but it was well worth it. It's one of my best rally cars, along with the Lancia one. Next up is a Toyota Minolta Toyota 88C-V race car from 1989. Sorry, I had a little cough there, but I'm feeling fine. Most people's allergies per se, you know, they tend to get worse or better. Mine are getting slightly better, I will say. Hopefully they stay that way. I know winter's only a few months away, so that's when allergies for people get worse because of the cold weather change, obviously. So yeah. Anyways, enough talk about allergies and other things that are not related to Gran Turismo 5. Let's go back into Gran Turismo 5 for the cars I have. Next up is the Honda Castrol Mugen or Mugen NSX from 2000. We have the 1970 Toyota 7 race car, one of the best race cars in this game, along with that other Toyota, the Minolta one. Then we have the Nissan R89C race car from 1989, another really great race car. So yeah. Then we have a slow car, then a faster car, a much faster car than this slow car, for that matter. We have the A112 Abarth from 1979. We have the Corvette Z06 C2 race car from 1963, which is pretty much the, you know, it's based off the Stingray platform per se, but they just called it a different version. So it's pretty similar to the Stingray, but not the Stingray though, which is why it's called the Z06 C2. If someone wants to let me know what C2 means, that would be nice because I have no clue what that means. Next up is the Mitsubishi Eclipse GT from 2006, 258 horsepower, and it's a V6 engine. Most cars that I have in the game are either a V8 or V6 engine. Some of them are like inline 4 or inline 6, or maybe a flat something engine like a flat 6 or whatever. We have the Cube EXFF/CVT from Nissan, and the car itself is from 2002. Then next we have a special car from Jay Leno collection in this game. There's only 2 Jay Leno cars in this game actually, the tank car and the Toronado, which has a little bit more horsepower than this thing, well, almost 100 more horsepower than this tank car does. The tank car is from 2003, by the way, before I go on to the next car, which is the 1996 Nismo 400R. It's basically a R32 or 33 GTR from Nissan, but it's tuned and made by Nismo for this one. And it has 571 horsepower, because friend did some upgrades, I guess, so yeah. Z28 Coupe from 1997, and obviously it's a Chevy or Chevrolet car. Toyota Sprinter Treno BZ-R from 1998. Mitsubishi Legnum VR4 Type V from 1998. The Mazda 323F from 1993. The Nissan BE1 from 1987. 240 RS Rally Car from 1985. The Audi Le Mans Quattro, which later on turns into the R8 a few years later. The Audi Pikes Peak Quattro, which I believe turns into the Q5 or Q7 SUV. I know it's one of those two. That's a V8. This one I believe is also a V8, not a V10. We have the Jensen Interceptor Mark 3 is that, I believe, because I see 3-letter I's after it, so yeah, that would be the Mark 3 then, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it says Jensen Interceptor MKIII from 1974. Next up is 1969 Chevrolet Camaro SS. I know Pete from Oldman Diecast would like this car. They do actually have a really cool Camaro race car from 97, but it's like close to 2 million credits for that thing. We have the Charger 440 RT from 1970. Chevelle SS 454 from 1970 from Chevrolet. Renault Maxi 5 Turbo Rally Car from 1985, Peugeot 106 Rally from 2003, 1982 Audi Quattro, 1997 Suzuki Alto Works RS-Z. We have an Alpine A310 1600 VE from 1973. We have the Honda Civic 1500 3-door CX from 1979. We have a Super Impreza WX STI version from 2000. We have the 2000 Ford Falcon XR8 race car, which is part of the V8 Super Cars series, which is mostly V8 supercars from Australia. It's mostly just Ford and Holden per se in that racing event as of today. We have the Nissan 350Z Concept L race car, which is a special car in this game. I believe this car is only attainable through the used car dealership or winning a special event race in this game. I'm not entirely sure. Next up is the Lancia Delta S4 rally car from 1985. One of the top 10 best rally cars in this game, I will say. Probably even top 5 along with that other Lancia, the Stratos, and the RS200. We have an Opel Speedster Turbo from 2000, Bugatti Veyron 16.4 from 2009, Hyundai Turbon GT from 2001. I know some people like pronouncing it as Tiburon or whatever funny way they want to, and you know, that's totally fine. That Hyundai was from 2001. Before we move on to the next car, which is a 1998 Mini Cooper 1.3i from Mini, obviously, because that's the only company that makes Mini Coopers. Even though Mini's actually owned by a more expensive brand than the company is, which is why most of their newer models are, like, in real life, kind of expensive, but not as expensive as a Porsche would be, per se, so yeah. But they are decently expensive, though. Next up is a Volkswagen Lupo 1.4 from 2002. Then we have a Honda 1300 Coupe 9S from 1970. We have a Nissan Skyline GTS 25 Type S R32 from 1991. It is a GTR from Nissan, but just not the top of the line version, per se. Sorry, I accidentally dozed off and was showing stuff off to the side there, but you can still see the cars, per se, while I'm doing that. Anyways, next car is, not the Honda Insight from 1999, that's the one after this Nissan Skyline HT 2000 Turbo RS from 1983. Then we have the Insight from 1999 from Honda. Then we have the Mazda RX-7 Type R-S parentheses FD, J from 1995. We have the Volvo 240 GLT Estate from 1988. The Cizeta V16T, T meaning turbo for this car, and the car itself is from 1994. It now has 809 horsepower, thanks to a few upgrades from me and my friend who likes cars in this game, and also real-life cars, and he still collects die-cast cars, he just doesn't use them as often as I do, per se. So, yeah. Anyways, Triumph Spitfire 1500 from 1974, Mazda Miata VR Limited, parentheses NA, J from 1995. Sorry, there's 80 cars in this, regular cars garage, so bear with me here. This might take a while, just letting people know that now. Next up is the Isuzu Piazza. Not Pizza, but Piazza XE from 1981. Now, I could easily see how someone might confuse this and think it's like, you know, has something to do with the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Well, Isuzu's not an Italian car company. They're Japanese, by the way. So, yeah. It has nothing to do with that tower in Italy, by the way. So, yeah. If it does, I will let people know that. Let's look at the... It actually was based off one of their truck things from Isuzu, apparently. There's some facts about the car if you can see that. So yeah, it has nothing to do with that tower, as I thought it would, because it's a Japanese car from 1981 from Isuzu. This is a really cool Citroen 2CV Type A from 1954. We have the Daihatsu Midget 2 D-Type from 1998. The Dome Zero concept from Dome Car Company from 1978. The Seat Ibiza Cupra from 2004. Again, some of these cars are going to be hard for me to pronounce. We have the Honda Accord Coupe from 1988. The Nissan Sladey, I'm not even sure how another way, Sladey or Sleddy or something like that. Sleddy, Sladey. I don't know, but it's supposed to look like an really cool Nissan sports car. That's all I'm gonna say. And the car itself is from 1998. And all of the cars will tell you how much horsepower they have right under the name of the car. Like, you know, the next few have in the range of like 40 to 70 horsepower. This one has 203. It's the Pontiac Vibe GT from 2003. No, I do not want to close out of the garage. That is silly, Gran Turismo. How dare you force me to close out of the garage when I'm showing cars to people who are new to my channel and haven't seen these types of videos about car racing games I do. I was planning on doing a Forza one, but then I realized I'll just show all the cars in that quicklier. Because, well, actually, quicklier is not a word. More quickly, because, I have way too many cars in that game. I have, like, 700 plus cars in that game. I have in the range of, like, 700 to 900 something cars in that game. More towards, like, 800 to 900 cars in Forza Horizon 4, to be honest. Suzuki Wagon R. There's 3 R's. I don't know why they couldn't have put them together to call it the Suzuki Wagon Triple R instead of Wagon R, then space RR from 1998. Fiat Panda Super I.E. And then the cars from 1990. They could have just said IE instead of I.E. And then don't finish the name of the car, or that is the name of the car, and they just wanted to do it that way instead. Then we have the Honda Z-Act from 1970. The Fiat before the Honda is from 1990. The Honda Z-Act from 1970. Daihatsu Storia, but I believe it is actually said as Storia from 2000, and it's the X4 version. We have the Fiat Coupe Turbo Plus from 2000. And cool Nissan from 1969, it's the Nissan Bluebird 1600 Deluxe 510. Buick Special doesn't tell you what year it's from. Some cars tell you what year they're from, other cars don't in this game, which is kind of confusing because everyone can just Google search the year of cars were made nowadays on Google for any car in any video game per se. Unless it's Forza Horizon 5, because they don't have the full cars list revealed quite yet, but I did look at a list of it, and there are some really cool cars that I can't wait to have in my collection in that game if I ever do get Forza Horizon 5, by the way. Anyways, next car is the Honda Dual Note concept from 2001, the year I was born. Mitsubishi Eclipse Spider GTS from 2003. DMC DeLorean S2 from 2004. Which is interesting, because that car does not look like a 2004 car to me, if you ask me, to be honest. We have the Lotus Elan S1. We have the Audi Novari Quattro from 2003. Sorry, that name was hard to pronounce. Now, this weird-looking sports supercar thing from Audi turns out to be later on the one of their, like, I don't know, A5, S5, RS5, or the TTRS model. Anyways, this one has a V10 engine, which is kind of surprising, because none of those cars, A5, S5, RS5, or TTRS today, have a V8, well, the RS5 has a V8, but it used to, now it's a V6 engine. But, this one's a V10 actually, so that's kind of shocking. Next up is the Vauxhall Corsa Comfort 1.4 from 2001. Again, another car from the year I was born, by the way. Jaguar XJ220 from 1992, one of my favorite supercars from the 90s, as in 1990s era. Mazda Ferrari concept from 2008, Cadillac Scene concept from 2002, and the Ford Taurus Show from 1998. I'm just gonna do one quick race under B-Spec. B-Spec means it does the racing for you, so yeah, just sit back, relax, and grab a glass of water, milk, or soda, or whatever you're drinking, and have fun, and let's watch me do a computerized race on here, just because I can't hold my phone and do a regular race. I wish I could, but sadly I cannot. We're just gonna do a really quick race, so yeah. Garage. Let's just go in a fast car to get the race done quicker. Toyota's actually lighter and it has a slightly better top speed than this Nissan car does, even though the Nissan has technically more horsepower, and yeah, that Toyota race car has a V8 engine. Huh. Toyota race car can't race because it has different tires on it now, I suppose. Well, that's a bummer. Really wanted to use it. I guess I can't. Maybe the Nissan will work? Just gotta see what tires it has on. Yep, that one can race. It's in the sports tires. Oh, and I have a few drivers I use in this game, by the way. We can also add a few more drivers in this game. If anyone wants me to, I'll just, add another driver on this game. Those are all the random cars I'm going up against. It's actually not too many cars, by the way. And, this game is, similar to most other Gran Turismo games, except for the fact that Gran Turismo Sport doesn't have a B-Spec mode. All races are played by hand, as in you physically have to race every single race with the controller using 2 hands in the race. So yeah, let's just watch the race go by. Go. And yes, I do want to let people know it will be saying a bunch of things on this race because it's the very first B-Spec race per se, and they do not expect you to use such a high horsepowered car in said race event. There we go, so we can display the entire map at all times so people know what the track looks like. Yeah, the car in first place is obviously my car. My car is a really fast car, so this race shouldn't take too long. And then after this race, I am going to have a MLB TSP 21 box opening video for my phone and iPad team on here relatively soon because it's Wednesday, and they are pretty much doing player box gifts every single day for MLB TSP 21 so far. Now I know last year in TSP 20 and 19, not all the boxes were in free player. Well, the boxes weren't in the free daily gifts or whatever per se, but this time the game's being nice enough to give us like 1 free box every day. Now this weekend, which is only 2 days away, is going to be really special because it's 4th of July weekend. 4th of July happens to be this Sunday, by the way. Since it falls on a Sunday, if you're planning on doing anything, Monday, whether you're, happen to have someone in summer school, which luckily I'm not, then you get the extra day off because it's still 4th of July weekend, and since the holiday's on a Sunday, they are also allowing some businesses and other places to be closed that Monday because it's still, 4th of July weekend stuff and people are coming back from their 4th of July weekend trip or whatever they're planning on doing that weekend. So yeah, I thought I'd just mention that in case people were wondering about TSP 21 because it said in the game we want you to have a great or special 4th of July weekend, and anytime you see a special thing show up in the game, you know that in TSP 21 there's going to be a lot of free player box gifts that weekend then. So yeah, Friday through Sunday of this weekend, let's get ready for the American 4th of July special weekend player box gifts from TSP 21, which is a really fun baseball game to play. It's super easy to play. All you do is just tap the screen on your smartphone or smart tablet and just hit the baseball, and it'll also want you to tap the screen to change pitchers. And there's a thing called energy drinks and ice wraps, and I want to let people know the importance of those is that ice wraps let you use your best pitcher any time you want to start a game. And what I mean by any time to start a game is like you use an ice wrap, you're starting the game from the first to possibly last inning, which, you know, in baseball it's obviously 9 innings. Some games can go longer, even in TSP 21 they can, which has happened to both of my teams a few times, just not all that often though. So yeah. Anyways, we're already on to lap 5 of 6, so yeah. These are going to be relatively quick laps. As you can tell, my best lap is not even 50 seconds. We have one more lap and then the race is over, and then I want to show a really cool feature. Called the used car dealership in this game, which, if you're wondering how I get certain cars like this Nissan, that's how I got it, from the used car dealership feature in this game. Now, there are, like, 1 or 2 other versions of this game where it comes with every single DLC car in this game, per se. So, yeah. Thought I'd just mention that, too. That there's a specialer version with every single DLC car and all of the, special features included. However, since this game is no longer, you know, operating its online features, you cannot do the online racing events or, the online dealership to get cars that way. Because I know in online dealership, it's pretty similar to used car dealership. You can get special cars you couldn't get from the regular dealership. So, yeah. Now, I do want to mention that the cars in used car dealership, some may be found in the regular cars dealership, but most often are not. Most of the cars in the used car dealership feature in this game are found directly in the used car dealership and nowhere else in the game. Unless you win special events, some of them might be found that way too, but they aren't found, they are earned by winning races that way. So, yeah. And that's the race, folks. I won, obviously, because I chose one of the best cars in the game for top speed to get this race over with. Yeah, I just got more credits, so now, since that's done and out of the way, let's go into a used car dealership and see if there's any cool cars worth, you know, saving credits for. Because, trust me, I will be saving a lot of credits and maybe buying a special car or not. Speaking of which, some of those cars I showed from not Fastlane Classic cars, but Colorado Diecast will be in this game under used car dealership. Or regular car dealership. The Opel or Opel Calibra DTM is going to be under used car dealership. Along with a few other cars, per se. Forgot this game has so many features in it. It's hard to navigate through it. Video game closet over it. Ooh. Right away, I saw something that just caught my eye. Now, this is not one of the best race cars ever in this game, but it's still a really cool one nonetheless, though. This is the Nissan R390 GT1 race car from 1998. And Hot Wheels has made 2 color versions of it already, in blue and, the next one's red. Hey! Are you kidding me? It's the Camaro concept race car, or race car I was talking about.